down, but I'm digging through the surface and I'm bringing her back home. I'm still her. I'm still her. Always was and now she's coming home. I'm still her. I spent a lot of years in someone else's definition, coloring inside the lines they drew around my name. Smiled when I was told to keep my opinions folded neatly, played the role so perfectly. I forgot it was a game. Then one day I caught my reflection doing something unexpected. She was laughing at the ceiling with her hair a perfect mess. And I thought, now there's a woman who deserves to take up space here. So I gave myself the only thing I needed to say yes. Oh, nobody else can sign the dotted line for me. I'm the only one who holds the only key. I gave myself permission to be golden, to walk into the room and only air I breathe. I gave myself permission to be spoken out loud and unashamed and completely free. Not waiting for the world to say I'm ready. I already know the answer and it's me. I bought a dress in crimson that I never would have chosen. Wore it to a dinner party where I didn't know a soul. And instead of shrinking inward like the habit always told me, I became the conversation and I finally felt whole. There's a power in deciding that your joy is non-negotiable, that the space you occupy was always meant to be your own. And the voice that used to whisper now has volume and intention, and the seeds of self-belief are fully, beautifully grown. Nobody else can sign the dotted line for me. I'm the only one who holds the only key. I gave myself permission to be golden, to walk into the room and only air I breathe. I gave myself permission to be spoken out loud and unashamed and completely free. Not waiting for the world to say I'm ready. I already know the answer and it's me. I wasted too much time on making everybody comfortable, while my own comfort lived in a forgotten drawer. I dimmed my own existence so the room would feel less threatened. But I'm done negotiating with the ceiling and the floor. So here I am in all my unedited and honest glory, taking every compliment without a single but, wearing my ambition like a coat that fits me perfectly, and loving every version of myself enough to not give up. I gave myself permission to be golden, to walk into the room and only air I breathe. I gave myself permission to be spoken out loud and unashamed and completely free. Not waiting for the world to say I'm ready. I already know the answer and it's me. Permission to be golden, permission to be real, permission to be everything I always knew I'd feel. Yeah, I gave it to myself, and that's the greatest me. Permission to be golden. I rehearsed 100 versions of the things I wanna say, edited every feeling till it fit inside a frame. But truth has rough edges. It it doesn't come in order. I'm tired of arranging it to sound like someone tame. You deserve the unrevised, the version with no filter. I've been giving you the highlights when the full film is much deeper. It's not the saying that scares me, it's the staying after. When you've seen the whole of someone and you're still standing there. The weight of being honest with you lives inside my chest, heavier than hiding, but it puts me more at rest. I'm handing you the pieces I've never shown to anyone. The weight of being honest with you might just set me free. If you can hold this version, then you're really holding me. I've loved before in costumes, in the safety of performance. Play the easy woman who would never ask for more. But you sit across the table like you're waiting for the real thing. And I realize I've been standing at the edge of my own door. What happens if I tell you that I'm terrified of needing? That the closer someone gets, the more I calculate the loss. It's not the saying that scares me, it's the staying after. When you've seen the whole of someone and you're still standing there. The weight of being honest with you lives inside my chest, heavier than hiding, but it puts me more at rest. I'm handing you the pieces I've never shown to anyone. The weight of being honest with you might just set me free. If you can hold this version, then you're really holding me. So here it is, the woman underneath the composure, the one who cries in parking lots and overthinks her worth, who keeps a distance not because she doesn't love you, but because she loves you more than anything she's felt on earth. And that's what terrifies me more than any silence. The weight of being honest with you lives inside my chest, heavier than hiding, but it puts me more at rest. I'm handing you the pieces I've never shown to anyone. The weight of being honest with you might just set me free. If you can hold this version, then you're really holding me. If you can hold this version, then you're really holding me. That's all I ever wanted, to be held honestly. I wasn't looking for a reason to believe again. Had my walls built high enough to keep the whole world out. Then you walked in like a conversation I didn't expect. And suddenly my careful silence turned itself around. You didn't try to fix me or to fill the empty spaces. You just sat beside me like you knew the view was fine. And somewhere in between the laughter and the ordinary, I realized I've been waiting for exactly your design. Funny how the things we need the most show up when we're done pretending we don't. You were closer than I think I ever knew, like a favorite song that played before I found the gestures or the fireworks. Just your voice across the table is enough to make me stay. You remember little details that I barely even mention, and you hold them like they matter in the sweetest kind of way. There's a rhythm to the way we move around each other, like a dance we never practiced, but we somehow always land. And I don't know what I did to deserve this kind of comfort, but I'm grateful for the way you always seem to understand. Funny how the things we need the most show up when we're done pretending we don't. You were closer than I think I ever knew, like a favorite song that played before I found the tune. Every conversation landed somewhere warm and true. You were closer than I think I ever knew, and now I'm standing in the middle of a feeling I can't lose. Everything makes sense when I'm next to you. Used to think that love is something loud and overwhelming, something you had to chase until you couldn't breathe. But here we are in all this gentle understanding, and it's more than I imagined it could be. You're the calm inside the chaos, and the laughter after silence. You're the hand I reach for when the evening settles in. I never thought that easy could feel so full of meaning, but with you I keep discovering it again and again. You were closer than I think I ever knew, like a favorite song played before I found the tune. Every conversation landed somewhere warm and true. You were closer than I think I ever knew, and now I'm standing in the middle of a feeling I can't lose. Everything makes sense when I'm next to you. Oh, you were always closer, closer than I think I ever knew. Everything makes sense. Everything falls into place with you. Closer than I ever knew.
Packed a bag with nothing much inside, just a couple records and my restless pride. Caught a train I hadn't planned to take, left behind the noise for my own sake. Every town I pass becomes a scene, painted in a color I've never seen. Strangers wave like they already know something in my heart I'm scared to show. Maybe I've been holding on too tight to a version of myself that doesn't fit. Maybe all I need is tonight. Finally let go of all of it. Wherever this road goes, I'm following a feeling in my bones. No map, no destination set in stone, just the wind and the unknown. Wherever this road goes, I'll find a place where I can breathe alone. A little corner of the world to call home. Wherever this road goes. Stop beside a river running wide, watch the water carry someone else's tide. Wrote your name in letters on the sand, knowing that the waves won't understand. Found a diner tucked behind the trees, ordered something warm and let my shoulders ease. Lady at the counter poured me twice, said you look like you could use something nice. And maybe there's no ending to this line, maybe every crossroad leads somewhere. this road goes, I'm following the feeling in my bones. No map, no destination set in stone, just the wind and the unknown. Wherever this road goes, I'll find a place where I can breathe alone. A little corner of the world to call my own. Wherever this road goes. I used to think that freedom meant escaping, running from the places that reminded me of who I was. But somewhere between the third city and the fourth goodbye, I realized freedom isn't running from anything. It's learning how to stay open, even when you don't know what's coming next. And that's the most peaceful thing I've ever felt. Now the evening settles soft and low. I'm sitting where the quiet rivers flow. Got no phone, no schedule, and no plan. Just the feeling of the earth beneath my hands. There's a kind of rhythm in this pace, something you can't find in any other place. Every step I'm getting closer to not a place, but something honest, something true. Wherever this road goes, I'm following the feeling in my bones. No map, no destination set in stone, just the wind and the unknown. Wherever this road goes, I'll find a place where I can breathe alone. A little corner of the world to call my own. Wherever this road goes, I'm already home. Wherever this road goes, I'm already home. Every time you walk into the room, something changes in the air, like the world just found its tune, and I forget what took me there. I could watch you read your favorite book, lost inside a world of words. Every little glance and every look tells me things I've never heard, and I don't need the answers now. I just need this moment here with you. Let the rest of the world spin around. We got nowhere else to be, it's true. Stay a little longer, let the hours fade away. We don't need a reason, we don't need a plan today. Your voice is like a melody that I could play on repeat. Stay a little longer, make this ordinary sweet. You've got coffee on your fingertips and laughter dancing in your eyes. Every story falling from you feels like some kind of paradise. I've been running circles all my life, chasing things I couldn't name. Sitting here beside you feels so right. Nothing's ever been the same. I don't need the answers now. I just need this quiet space we found. Let the noise of everything fade out. You're the only one around. Stay a little longer. spend their whole lives looking for something extraordinary. The beauty is right here. And the way you laugh at your own jokes, the way you hold your cup with both hands, the way you hum a song you don't remember learning. You make the simple things feel like they're more than enough. The afternoon is stretching out so slow, and I don't mind it, not at all. There's a kind of peace I've come to know just by leaning on this wall. Watching shadows paint across the floor, listening to your easy sighs. I have never wanted something more than this view through eyes closed. Stay a little longer, maybe I will fade away. We don't need a plan today. Your voice is like a melody that I could play on repeat. Stay a little longer, make this ordinary sweet. Stay a little longer, just a little longer. I could stay here with you. Forever wouldn't be enough. Stay a little longer with you.
Woke up to the sound of rain against my window. Coffee getting warm between my hands. All those little worries fading into nothing. Something in the air says I don't need a plan. I've been moving fast for way too long, trying to keep up with a world that never waits. But today I'm gonna take it slow and easy, let the hours find their own sweet pace. No, I don't need a reason to feel this way. Everything I want is already in this place. This is where I belong, in the quiet of the feeling when the rhythm carries on. Every breath is like a melody I'm finally learning. This is where I belong, with my feet upon the ground and my heart in my hands. I'm done with second guessing, I'm just here, and I'm not leaving. Pages of my life are turning on their own now, every chapter writing something beautiful. I used to chase the answers like the world owed me a reason. Now I'm letting go and finding that it's wonderful. Seasons come and pass, but I don't mind the change. And there's a kind of peace in knowing less and feeling more. I'm collecting little moments like the treasures, building something real worth holding on to for sure. I don't need a reason to feel this way. Everything I want is already in this place. This is where I belong, in the quiet of the feeling when the rhythm carries on. Every breath is like a melody I'm finally learning. This is where I belong, with my feet upon the ground and my whole heart in my hands. I'm done with second guessing, I'm just here, and I'm not leaving. Maybe I was looking way too far to find it when the answer was as close as my own heartbeat. I was counting all the things I thought were missing, never saw the ones that made my life complete. I'm not running anymore, I'm standing still, not because I'm stuck, because I finally feel like the ground beneath me is exactly where I'm meant to be. Yeah, that's enough for me. This is where I belong, in the quiet of the feeling when the rhythm carries on. Every breath is like a melody I'm finally learning. This is where I belong, with my feet upon the ground and my whole heart in my hands. I'm done with second guessing, I'm just here and I'm not leaving. Yeah, this is where I belong. I can feel it in the melody that carries on. This is where I belong. Oh, I finally understand. sit across from you, steam rising slow between our hands, porcelain warmth, quiet. The city stretching into itself. I watch the way you breathe, like you're trying not to rush the day. There's something gentle in your shoulders, something unspoken to say. I couldn't know silence could feel this full. Didn't know stillness could move like this. Stay right here, let the clock forget its numbers, let the world hum somewhere far away. We don't need answers yet, just this table, this chair, and the space between our fingers. I like the way you look at nothing, everything already makes sense. I don't feel the quiet, the soft piano leaning into corners, brushes tracing soap into the air. Your laugh buried above a whisper, landing softly in my chest. There's no hurry in your eyes, no thunder rolling through yours, just warmth that settles slowly like sugar dissolving in a cup. And I feel something steady forming, not fireworks, not a storm, just a rhythm we can lean on. Stay right here, let the minutes open gently, let the noise drift out the door. We don't need promises, just this warmth and the sound of you saying my name. If this is how a day can begin, I don't need it louder, I don't need it brighter, I just need it true. Your fingers trace the rhythm of conversations we haven't had. I wonder what you're holding back, and I don't mind waiting. There's courage in slow affection, in choosing not to run ahead, in letting every glance unfold without demanding more. And when you finally speak, your voice is slow and steady, it wraps around the room like it belongs here. Stay right here, let the air grow softer, let our breathing follow a line. No grand declarations, no dramatic turns, just closeness, simple and real. Maybe love isn't lightning, maybe it's this, a table, two cups, and a feeling that stays. Soft bass humming underneath the cool strings, brushing light, we lean into the quiet again, not afraid of what it means, because sometimes the strongest things are the ones that move slowly. So stay, not forever, just long enough for this moment to be. Hey, I wake before the noise begins, before the crowded rush within. A quiet pulse beneath my ribs reminds me what this moment gives. The air is clear without command, no heavy weight upon my brain, just open hours yet unnamed, no outfits, no price proclaimed. I used to wait for certainty to map the path completely, to know exactly where I'd land before I dare to stand. But life has never moved that way, it never paused for me to say I'm ready now. Proceed with light, it's simple. simply has foresight. And I step into the day, not needing guarantees, not begging fate to stay, but moving steadily. There's something strong and not yet knowing, and seeds beneath the soil still growing, and plans that haven't found their form but hold a quiet storm. Not chaos, not a reckless spin, but energy contained within, a promise held in subtle tone that hasn't yet been shown. I feel the stretch of what could be, not towering above me, but walking close beside my stride, inviting me to try. I won't demand a perfect sign or draw the finish line before I even take a breath or measure life by depth. And I step into the day with open hands at ease, not forcing time to sway, but bending with the breeze. The future doesn't shout my name, it doesn't blaze with sudden flame, it hums in lower, steadier ways through ordinary days. It lives in choices made with care, in risks I'm willing to declare, in saying yes when fear appears, and staying through the years. I know there will be altered plans, shifting lines and shifting sands, moments that require pause and others without cause. But I am not the fragile thread that snaps when doubt is spread. I am the woven layered seam of effort and of dream. And I step into the day without a script to read, no need to overplay what's waiting to be free. There's courage in a softer stance, in giving change a chance, in letting outcomes unfold wide without the need to hide. I used to think that bold meant loud or standing tall above a crowd, but strength can move at a quieter pace with steady lifted face. The road ahead is not a test, it's not a judge, it's not a quest to prove my worth or earn a name. It's space to play the game. I'll take the hours as they come, let progress gently hum. Small advances, slight and real, that time alone can seal. And I step into the day, no backward glance to change, no hesitation, sway, no shadowed weight of pain. If something greater waits ahead, it doesn't need to be widespread, it only needs to meet me where my courage meets the air. I don't require display to validate my way. I trust the rhythm in my stride and walk it open-eyed. The sky above is neither grand nor written out by hand, it's simply space enough to move and space enough to prove. Not to the world or watching eyes, but to the self that never lies, that forward isn't reckless flight, it's choosing light. And I step into the day, unafraid of what may change. Whatever comes my way will find me standing range to range. And I step into the day, no backward glance to chain, no hesitation, sway, no shadowed weight of pain. If something greater waits ahead, it doesn't need to be widespread, it only needs to meet me where my courage meets the earth. I don't require a grand display to validate my way. I trust the rhythm in my stride and walk it open-eyed. The sky above is neither grand nor written out by hand, it's simply space enough to move and space enough to prove. And space enough to prove.
city hasn't chosen yet what it intends to do. Your shoes are by the doorway, the on the chair. There's movement in the stillness, like something in the air. We don't know what the day will bring, no outline, no precise plan, no guarantee of smoothness, no promise that we can. But here we stand in early light before the rush begins, with coffee warm in both our hands and hope beneath our skin. The piano plays a rising phrase, soft but not restrained. Brush drums sweep like quiet steps across the window pane. You glance at me in a half smile, like we share a hidden cue, as if beginning matters more than knowing what we'll do. I used to wait for certainty before I'd take a stride. I wanted maps and markers before I'd step outside. But certainty is fragile, it shifts without a sound, and life rarely announces where answers can be found. Maybe we don't need the ending in our sight. Maybe starting side by side is already right. The bass hums steady underneath, like courage low and clear, not loud enough to dominate, but strong enough to steer. You say we take it hour by hour, we don't have to race, just moving in the same direction at a human pace. There's comfort in your calmness, in how you lace your shoes. Now the wind and fear is gone, just choosing what to choose. I don't need the future to explain itself. I only need this moment and your hand in mine. The light goes slightly brighter across the kitchen wall. We stand there in the doorway before the outside call. I think about the seasons we haven't seen unfold, about the conversations we haven't yet been told. There will be days of question, there will be nights unsure, there will be shifting ground we cannot fully secure. But none of that feels heavier than what is standing here, the simple act of walking out without rehearsed fear. You brush against my shoulder in that unspoken way that says you're not demanding, just willing to stay. The crushed strings lean upward like breath before a climb, and something in the movement feels aligned with time. We don't have to conquer, we don't have to claim, we only have to show again and again. The city starts its rhythm, engines hum below, doors open down the hallway, feet begin to go. And in that growing motion, there's something calm and true, a quiet understanding. I'm not alone with you. We step into the morning, no script, no grand decree, just shared intention and quiet clarity. I don't need every answer before the day begins. I don't need flawless timing or guaranteed wins. If the road bends unexpectedly, if the plans adjust, we will meet it in the open, with patience and with trust. Because starting is a promise we make without display, a vow to face the hours, whatever comes our way. The sky is fully opening now, the light no longer thin, and I feel a steady readiness settling within. No fireworks above us, no crowd to testify, just two steady heartbeats under the waking sky. We don't know what the day will bring, no script for what we'll see, but if you're walking for
directions in my hands, looking for a brighter place across imagined lands. There were nights I held my breath, afraid to let things fall, believing if I stayed too still I'd never move at all. I have loved and let it go. I have stayed and turned away, yet I have stood beneath the rain and still chosen day. Each goodbye carved something new, each beginning left its mark. Every loss became a window, letting sunlight through the dark. I used to search for meaning somewhere far beyond, but meaning was the quiet pulse that kept me moving on. You arrived not as a rescue, not as something to complete, but as a steady presence where my restless rhythms meet. You didn't promise easy, you didn't swear forever. You simply stood beside me and said we'd learn together. And suddenly I understood what all the years had done. They shaped the heart I carry now, they led me to this sun, where all the light begins is not beyond the hill. It's here inside the breath we take when everything is still. Where all the light begins is not a distant flame. It's in the way we say each other's names without the need for fame. I am not the girl who trembled at every shifting ground. I am not the one who waited to be finally found. I am built from every chapter, almost every scar, every quiet act of courage that brought me where we are. And if tomorrow asks for strength, if seasons change their tone, I know I won't be standing as someone overthrown. Because light is not a miracle, it's practice every day. It's choosing hope repeatedly when doubt is in the way. I see it in the way you listen, in the way you let me grow, in the space you leave around my dreams so they have room to show. There is no perfect ending, no final flawless scene, just this living, breathing moment, bright and clear between. Where all the light begins is in the life we build, and laughter after honesty and promises fulfilled. Where all the light begins is not in grand display, it's in the simple truth we choose to honor every day. I don't need a louder sky or stars that blaze above. I have everything I searched for in steady chosen love. So let the years keep moving, let the story gently bend. I know that every path I've walked was leading to this end. Not an end of fire fading, not a curtain slowly drawn, but a place where all the light begins and keeps on moving on.
There's nothing special on the calendar, no circle drawn in red, no message marked as urgent, no echo in my head. The curtains sway in easy air, a mellow kind of blue. The world is not demanding, and somehow that feels new. I stretch across the mattress without a sense of race. The morning doesn't chase me, it simply gives me space. You're standing by the counter, reading something small. I can't even remember what we planned at all. But something feels different, like a chord that sits just right. Not dramatic or explosive, just balanced in its light. The bass line under silence moves steady through the room. Brush drums, soft footsteps, sweeping away the gloom. You look up with that half smile that doesn't try too hard. And for a quiet second, nothing feels too far. No particular reason, no banner in the sky, just a gentle kind of ease I don't need to justify. I used to search for moments that felt larger than the frame, thinking joy required a spark or something I could name. But here we are in loose routine, coffee halfway done, and I can't find a single thing that needs to be outrun. Maybe this is happiness, not loud, not rare, not wild. Just breathing without tension, like a well-rested child. You tap your fingers softly along the wooden chair. The rhythm finds my heartbeat waiting quietly there. We talk about the weather like it actually matters, about a song we heard last night, about nothing that shatters. And in that harmless chatter, there's something I can trust, a sense that life is golden instead of turning to dust. No grand arrival, no final scene to claim, just two cups on a small round table and peace without a name. I used to measure good days by what I achieved, but today I'm not achieving anything, and that feels like relief. The sunlight slips between us in soft and simple lines, touching every ordinary thing, and somehow it refines. You don't try to impress me, I don't try to shine. We are not performing, we're simply in time. The acoustic strings are gentle, like conversation tone. Nothing overstated, nothing overthrown. And I notice how my shoulders aren't pulled up near my ears. There's no invisible pressure, no background fears, no particular reason, no milestone to defend. Just a morning moving forward without needing to transcend. You laugh about something small, I laugh because you do. And for a passing second, the feeling circles through. I don't wanna dissect it or trap it in a phrase. Some moves don't need explanation, they just quietly stay. If tomorrow shifts its color, if next week brings a test, I'll remember the simplicity that let my spirit rest. Not every blessing glitters, not every gift is loud. Some days arrive unannounced without asking to be proud. The city's slowly filling, engines start to roll, but nothing in that movement disturbs my inner role. I stand beside you loosely, without a scripted line. For once I'm not rehearsing or trying to define. No particular reason, no evidence to show, just an unforced contentment, letting everything flow. The piano keeps it moving, steady rounded tone, and in that steady comfort I feel entirely at home. You brush against my shoulder on the way across the room, and something in that gesture clears away the gloom. I don't need a grand design or fireworks above. Sometimes the truest morning are the quiet shape of love. There's nothing special on the calendar, nothing bold to prove, but this unspoken lightness is more than enough to move.
I heard you moved to a different town, closer to the sea you love. I picture waves around your feet, the sky wide open up above. It didn't hurt the way I thought, no sharp edges in my chest, just something soft and bittersweet, like a memory laid to rest. There was a time I would have called just to hear your voice again, but love can change its shape with grace, it doesn't have to strain. We were young and learning still, trying hard to get it right. Two hopeful hearts with open hands, walking toward uncertain light. I used to hold our ending tight, as if it proved that we had failed. But endings aren't confessions, they're just stories that have sailed. I don't replay the words we said, or wish I could undo, because every step we took together built the version of me you knew. And that version's still here standing, stronger than before, not aching for what isn't mine, not knocking at your door. If you are laughing somewhere new, if someone holds your hand, I hope they see the tenderness that only few can understand. I hope the mornings treat you well, I hope your coffee's warm, I hope the world is kind enough and steady through each storm. There's no medal for holding on to something that has changed. Sometimes the bravest thing we do is loosen what we've arranged. So I let you go gently, not thrown into the wind, but placed back into the universe with gratitude within. Because love is not possession, it's a gift we get to share. And when the season passes, it still leaves something there. You taught me how to listen close, how to stay and not retreat, how to meet another heartbeat without missing my own beat. And even now in quiet hours, when thoughts drift back in blue, they don't undo my present peace, they simply honor you. I don't wish to rewrite us or change the path we chose. I'm thankful for the chapter that's so naturally closed. Somewhere in the bigger picture, where every story flows, there's room for what we once were, and space for what still grows. So walk your road with open eyes, with courage in your stride. I walk mine just as honestly, with sunlight by my side. And if one day our paths should cross by chance without design, we'll greet each other gently like two old friends in time. No trembling hands, no hidden blame, just warmth without regret. Because love that's given freely is the hardest to forget. I let you go gently, and somehow I remain not smaller for the leaving, but expanded by the change. I packed a bag of maybes and a pocket full of someday. Caught the last train out before my courage changed its mind. The city lights were blinking like 1,000 little questions, and I answered every one of them by leaving it behind. Everybody told me I should wait for something certain, but certain never knocked, and I got tired of the door. So I traded in the comfortable for something I can't picture, and it's terrifying, honestly, but I never wanted more. I don't need to see the whole road stretching out. Just the next step forward is enough for now. I'm halfway to anywhere, and that's exactly right. Don't know where the destination is, but I can feel the ride. Every mile a little braver, every turn a different view. I'm halfway to anywhere, and I'm already someone new. The map is in my heartbeat, and the compass is my truth. I'm halfway to anywhere, and I'm halfway to breaking through. Met a stranger at a diner who had given up on schedule. She said freedom isn't something you can organize or plan. She'd been traveling for 7 years on nothing but a feeling, and the richest thing she carried was a story of her hands. I wrote her words on napkins, and I folded them like secrets, tucked them in my jacket next to everything I dreamed. And I walked into the evening with the fire in my belly, knowing that the biggest life is built from in between. I don't need to see the whole road stretching out. Just the next step forward is enough for now. I'm halfway to anywhere, and that's exactly right. Don't know where the destination lives, but I can feel the ride. Every mile a little braver, every turn a different view. I'm halfway to anywhere, and I'm already someone new. The map is in my heartbeat, and the compass is my truth. I'm halfway to anywhere, and I'm halfway to breaking through. They say the brave ones are the ones who aren't afraid, but I think bravery is shaking and still choosing not to stay. It's the ticket bought at midnight and a suitcase by the bed. It's the voice inside that whispers you were made for more than this. So I'll keep moving, keep believing, keep collecting all the wonder, keep reminding myself daily that the view is worth the climb. And if I never find the finish line, I'll make peace with the wandering, because the journey always was the most incredible design. I'm halfway to anywhere, and that's exactly right. Don't know where the destination lives, but I can feel the ride. Every mile a little braver, every turn a different view. I'm halfway to anywhere, and I'm already someone new. The map is in my heartbeat, and the compass is my truth. I'm halfway to anywhere, and I'm halfway to breaking through. Halfway to anywhere, and every step is mine. Halfway to anywhere, and honestly, I'm doing fine. I'm halfway there. Yeah, I'm halfway to anywhere.
I had my walls built high with every brick you put. fortress made of years of playing safe. Then you walked in with that ridiculous face and asked me something no one else would say. You said, why do you hold your coffee like it's scared? I laughed so hard I nearly dropped the cup. And in that moment suddenly I cared about the kind of things I'd given you. I wasn't looking, I wasn't ready. My heart was locked and I had lost the key. But you showed up so calm and steady, and somehow found a door I couldn't see. I didn't see you coming, wasn't part of any plan I drew. You walked right through my walls like nothing, and suddenly my armor was all gone. I didn't see you coming, but you arrived exactly when I need. The kind of love that doesn't ask for running, just a place to plant a different seed. You remember things I say in passing, like my favorite flavor and my middle name. You notice when my smile is only masking a feeling that I haven't learned to tame. You don't try to fix me or complete me, you just sit beside me in the noise. And somehow that's exactly what I needed, more than any grand romantic poise. I spent my life believing love was heavy, something you survive instead of hold. But everything with you feels light and steady, like a story that was waiting to be told. I didn't see you coming, wasn't part of any plan I drawn. You walked right through my walls like nothing, and suddenly my armor was all gone. I didn't see you coming, but you arrived exactly when I need. The kind of love that doesn't ask for running, just a place to plant a different seed. I think the best things in life are the ones you can't prepare for, the conversations that go 3 hours longer than they should. The people who make you forget to check your phone, you're that kind of unexpected. The kind that rewrites a story without changing a single word, just by standing in the right place at the right time and being exactly who you are. Now every Tuesday feels like something new, and grocery runs have turned into a dance. I never knew that someone else's view could make me wanna take another chance. You've taught me that surrender isn't weak, that opening a door can be the bravest thing. And every time I hear you start to speak, I realize what all the poets mean. I didn't see you coming, wasn't part of any plan I know. You walked right through my walls like nothing, and suddenly my armor was all gone. I didn't see you coming, but you arrived exactly when I need. The kind of love that doesn't ask for running, just a place to plant a different seed. I didn't see you coming, but now I can't imagine looking away. You changed the way I see the view, and I choose you every single day. I didn't see you coming, but here you are.
It started at the dinner table, passed the salt and smile. Don't bring your feelings here, we haven't got the time. I learned that love was quiet and opinions were a threat, but the safest thing to be was someone easy to forget. So I practiced being pleasant, like a full-time occupation. Built a woman out of pleasing, and I called it reputation. The lies we learn in childhood are the hardest ones to break, because they sound like love and feel like keeping safe. That's where I learned to lie, at a table set for silence, where the truth was too expensive and the peace was always violence. That's where I learned to lie, and it took me 30 years to hear my own voice clearly. Through the static of those years, I'm unlearning every lesson that was taught to keep me small. That's where I learned to lie, and where I learned to fall. I carried it to friendship, said yes when I meant no. Carried it to lovers, performed instead of showed. I can enter any place and become whatever fit the scene. Like a million, so perfect I forgot what I could mean. The line wasn't malice, it was just the only tool a child could find to navigate a house of fragile words. The lies we learn in childhood are the hardest ones to break because they sound like love and feel like keeping safe. That's where I learned to lie at a table set for silence, where the truth was too expensive and the peace was always violence. That's where I learned to lie, and it took me 30 years to hear my own voice clearly through the static of those years. I'm unlearning every lesson that was taught to keep me small. That's where I learned to lie and where I learned to fall. I'm not angry at the table or the people sitting there. They were lying too with their own inherent despair. But the cycle stops with me and my willingness to speak. The truth is clumsy, but it's mine to keep. That's where I learned to lie at a table set for silence, where the truth was too expensive and the peace was always violence. That's where I learned to lie, and it took me 30 years to hear my own voice clearly through the static of those years. I'm unlearning every lesson that was taught to keep me small. That's where I learned to lie, and where I chose to stand tall. I'm unlearning now, one truth at a time. The girl at that table, she's finally doing fine. I used to measure all my days by what I had done, counting every distant star instead of what I'd won. I thought the road was something loud, a spotlight or a sign, but most of it was quiet steps that slowly turned to mine. I packed my doubts inside a box and carried them for years, mistaking caution for control, mistaking strength for fear. Then somewhere in a smaller room with sunlight on the wall, I realized the life I chased was never far at all. It lived inside the early hours, the coffee and the train, the way I chose to rise again after the smallest pain. You walk beside me without noise, no speeches to impress, just steady hands and patient eyes when I felt aimless. You never tried to lead my pace or pull me into yours. You simply let me find my step and open my own doors, and that was when it changed for me. The pressure lost its grip, success was no cathedral high, just balance in the hips. When my life found its rhythm, it wasn't fast or grand, it was breathing in the morning air with courage in my hand. When my life found its rhythm, it wasn't made of fame, it was knowing who I am, becoming and loving who I became. The city does wasn't slow for dreams. It rushes past the doubt, but I no longer race its pulse. I let my heart speak out. There's something strong in choosing peace and building brick by brick, in understanding lasting joy is quiet and quick. We talk about the years ahead like sketches, not like chains. We draw in pencil, not in stone. We leave space for change, and even if the plans we make shift shape beneath the sky, I trust the way my feet now move. I trust the reason why. Because I'm not a virgin lost, not waiting to be found. I am the echo of each step that firmly leads to ground. When my life found its rhythm, it wasn't some applause, it was letting go of proof, living without cause. When my life found its rhythm, I stopped asking when. I learned that every honest day is when dreams begin. There will be seasons I outgrow, there will be turns I miss, but none of them can take away the strength inside of this. The younger me was always brave, just buried in the noise. Now I walk with clearer sight and make deliberate choice. And if tomorrow shakes the map, if storms arrive unplanned, I know I won't collapse inside, I know I'll understand. Because the rhythm isn't fragile, it doesn't break in two. It's the steady pulse of who I am and who I'm growing to. So here I stand in simple light, no rush to be complete, just grateful for the ground below and every heartbeat. When my life found its rhythm, it felt like coming home, not somewhere far beyond the hills, but here where I have grown. Everybody asks me how I'm holding up these days. I say I'm good, I'm fine, in all the usual ways. But the weight shows up at evening, when the conversations end, when there's no one left to perform for, and the walls become my friend. The dishes in the sink, no more about my state than any person asking at the office or the gate. It's not the busy hours that test the things I carry, it's the silence in between that makes the load feel heavy. It's heavier when it's quiet, when the world is turned away, when the only voice I'm hearing is the one I can't escape. It's heavier when it's quiet, but I'm learning how to hold the fullness of my silence without letting go. It's heavier when it's quiet, but the quiet makes me whole. I used to fill the evenings with a television haze, scrolling through the noise to drown the empty space. But avoidance is a muscle that eventually gives out, and the quiet always finds me, no matter what the road. So I sat with it one evening like a stranger on a train, and I found that underneath it wasn't loneliness but rain, a gentle kind of cleansing I had been avoiding all along. It's not the busy hours that test what I carry, it's the silence in between that makes the load feel heavy. It's heavier when it's quiet, makes me whole. Maybe heavy isn't bad, maybe heavy means it's real. Maybe staying out of the weight is how I finally learned to heal. Not by lifting it away, but by letting it belong. The heaviness was always just an honest kind of song. It's heavy when it's quiet, the world is turned away, and the only voice I'm hearing is the one I can't escape. It's heavy when it's quiet, but I'm learning how to hold the fullness of my silence without letting go. It's heavy when it's quiet, but the quiet makes me whole. It's heavier when it's quiet, and I'm okay with that. The silence isn't empty, it's where my truth is I thought before the light fully settled into sight, not as a shadow pulling tight, but like a steady line. There's distance in the way we stand, different streets, another land, but still I feel your open hand, simply aligned with mine. The hours don't collide the same, we don't share weather, air, or frame, yet every time I say your name, it settles soft and deep. I don't count days in heavy time, or measure how far we've grown. I let the quiet bridge be known between what's there and here. I send this through the air, not urgent, not despair, just something warm and there to meet you where you are. I wonder what your window shows, what kind of sky above you grows. If music drifts in gentle flows, or traffic hums instead. I picture how you take your tea, if you still laugh as easily at small mistakes that used to be the words we never said. There's comfort in the way we speak, no need to prove we're strong or weak. We let the silence have a peak without it feeling wrong. Some conversations stretch and bend, but ours don't need to defend. We simply rise and softly send a steady, patient song. And I send this through the air, no pressure in the care, just knowing it is there between your world and mine. This isn't longing, just in pain. It's not a plea or a soft refrain. It's simply love that can remain without demanding more. We don't require constant proof or daily signs beneath one roof. The trust we built is quiet truth that distance can't ignore. I like when nothing feels extreme, no fragile edge, no breaking seam, just steady thought, an open theme that moves without control. We've learned that space can still contain a warmth that doesn't need to strain, a closeness free of subtle chain that steadies heart and soul. And I send this through the air, not urgent, not despair, just something warm and there to meet you where you are. If one day miles begin to fold and streets we walk become shared road, we'll let that moment gently hold without rewriting. Until that time I'm satisfied to let our connection glide, not anchored by impatient tide, but rooted somehow. I trust the tone beneath our words more than dramatic soaring chords. It's built from simple quiet thirds that harmonize with ease. So take this letter made of sound, no heavy weight to drag it down, just warmth that circles slowly round like steady open seas. I thought of you before the light, and in that early silver sight you felt as near purest breath in there, present and aware.
You don't always answer quickly when I ask what's going on. You pause like you are sorting through something undefined. The room doesn't grow in, it doesn't need a sound. There's comfort in the waiting when no one feels unbound. The morning holds its balance between the night and noon. Light rests upon the counter like a steady, quiet tune. You trace a line on porcelain with fingertips at ease. The piano finds a softened chord that doesn't freeze. I used to rush to fill the gaps with words I barely meant, afraid that in the silence signaled discontent. But you let spaces linger without turning them to doubt. You taught me not to panic when nothing's spilling out. You said, not every feeling needs a faster name. Some things take a moment before they rise and claim. That stayed with me through mornings when language felt too small, when I was reaching for a phrase and couldn't find one at all. The brush drums keep their patience like footsteps soft and wide. The bass hums underneath us like truth that doesn't hide. You look at me directly, not searching for display, just steady in your presence, in the space you leave to stay. I've started listening differently to what you don't express, to how your shoulders settle when you're finally at rest. There's tenderness and quiet, there's clarity and slow, a deeper kind of honesty that hurried words won't show. I used to fear unspoken thoughts like they were storms behind closed doors. But maybe silence isn't distance, maybe it's trust. The sunlight shifts its angle across the wooden floor. Nothing urgent in the air, nothing pressing at the door. You finally share a sentence, careful, unadorned, and I can feel the weight of it, because it's been well formed. No dramatic revelation, no overwhelming claim, just something small and honest that carries more than flame. The acoustic strings are gentle, like breath before a word, and I begin to understand all of being heard. I don't need constant answers, proof in every glance. I've learned that love can happen without a louder stance. You don't fill the room with noise to reassure my doubt. You simply stay attentive until it smooths itself out. Not everything important has to be declared. Sometimes the deepest feeling is the one that's widely shared. The city starts its motion, engines low and wide, but here between our coffee cups, there's nothing we must hide. You meet my eyes again, no pressure to perform, and I feel something solid, not flashy, just warm. I used to think connection was measured by the talk, by how much ground we covered in a single morning. Now I see it differently, in glances, in the way, in how you hold the silence without turning. In the space you leave for me, in the patience of your tone, I find a kind of closeness that feels entirely known. The piano fades to softness, the bass still deep and low, and I am less afraid now of what we don't yet show. The morning stands between us, clear, unrushed and free. I am learning how to love in quiet honesty.
I rehearsed 100 versions of the things I wanna say, edited every feeling till it fit inside a frame. The truth has rough edges, it doesn't come in order. I'm tired of arranging it to sound like someone's name. You deserve the unrevised, the version with no filter. I've been giving you the highlights when the full film is much deeper. It's not the saying that scares me, it's the staying after. When you've seen the whole of someone and you're still standing there. The weight of being honest with you lives inside my chest, heavier than hiding, but it puts me more at rest. I'm handing you the pieces I've never shown to anyone. The weight of being honest with you might just set me free. If you can hold this version, then you're really I've loved before in costumes, in the safety of performance. Play the easy woman who would never ask for more. But you sit across the table like you're waiting for the real thing. And I realize I've been standing at the edge of my own door. What happens if I tell you that I'm terrified of needing? That the closer someone gets, the more I calculate the loss. It's not the saying that scares me, it's the staying after. When you've seen the whole of someone and you're still standing there. The weight of being honest with you lives inside my chest, heavier than hiding, but it gives me more at rest. I'm handing you the pieces I've never shown to anyone. The weight of being honest with you set me free. If you can hold this version, then you're really holding me. So here it is, the woman underneath the composure, the one who cries in parking lots and overthinks her worth, who keeps a distance not because she doesn't love you, but because she loves you more than anything she's felt on earth. That's what terrifies me more than any silence. The weight of being honest with you lives inside my chest, heavier than hiding, but it puts me more at rest. I'm handing you the pieces I've never shown to anyone. The weight of being honest with you might just set me free. That's all I ever wanted, to be held honestly.
There's nothing special on the calendar, no circle drawn in red, no message marked as urgent, no echo in my head. The curtains sway in easy air, a mellow kind of blue. The world is not demanding, and somehow that feels new. I stretch across the mattress without a sense of race. The morning doesn't chase me, it simply gives me space. You're standing by the counter, reading something small. I can't even remember what we planned at all, but something feels different, like a chord that sits just right. Not dramatic or explosive, just balanced in its light. The bass line under silence moves steady through the room. Brush drums like soft footsteps, sweeping away the gloom. You look up with that half smile that doesn't try too hard, and for a quiet second, nothing feels too far. No particular reason, no banner in the sky, just a gentle kind of ease I don't need to justify. I used to search for moments that felt larger than the frame, thinking joy required a spark or something I could name. But here we are in loose routine, coffee halfway done, and I can't find a single thing that needs to be out. Maybe this is happiness, not loud, not rare, not wild. Just breathing without tension, like a well-rested child. You tap your fingers softly along the wooden chair. The rhythm finds my heartbeat waiting quietly there. We talk about the weather like it actually matters, about a song we heard last night, about nothing that shatters. And in that harmless chatter, there's something I can trust, a sense that life is holding instead of turning to dust. No grand arrival, no final scene to claim, just two cups on a small round table and peace without a name. I used to measure good days, what I achieved, but today I'm not achieving anything that feels like relief. The sunlight slips between us in soft and simple lines, touching every ordinary thing, and somehow it refines. You don't try to impress me, I don't try to shine. We are not performing, we're simply in the time. The acoustic strings are gentle, like conversation tone. Nothing overstated, nothing overthrown. And I notice how my shoulders aren't pulled up near my ears. There's no invisible pressure, no background of fears, no particular reason, no milestone to defend. Just a morning moving forward without needing to transcend. You laugh about something small, I laugh because you do. And for a passing second, the feeling circles through. I don't wanna dissect it or trap it in a phrase. Some moods don't need explanation, they just quietly stay. If tomorrow shifts its color, if next week brings a test, I'll remember the simplicity that let my spirit rest. Not every blessing glitters, not every gift is loud. Some days arrive unannounced without asking to be proud. The city slowly filling, engines start to roll, but nothing in that movement disturbs my inner role. I stand beside you, without a scripted line, and for once I'm not rehearsing or trying to define. No particular reason, no evidence to show, just an unforced contentment, letting everything flow. The piano keeps it minimal, a steady rounded tone, and in that steady comfort I feel entirely at home. You brush against my shoulder on your way across the room, and something in that gesture clears away the gloom. I need a grand design or fireworks above. Sometimes the truest mornings are the quiet shape of love. There's nothing special on the calendar, nothing bold to prove, but this unspoken lightness is more than enough to move.
Woke up to the sound of rain against my window, coffee getting warm between my hands. All those little worries fading into nothing. Something in the air said I don't need a plan. I've been moving fast for way too long, trying to keep up with the world that never waits. But today I'm gonna take it slow and easy, let the hours find their own sweet pace. No, I don't need a reason to feel this way. Everything I want is already in this place. This is where I belong, in the quiet of the feeling when the rhythm carries on. Every breath is like a melody I'm finally learning. This is where I belong, with my feet upon the ground and my whole heart in my hands. I'm done with second guessing, I'm just here, and I'm not leaving. Pages of my life are turning on their own now, every chapter writing something beautiful. I used to chase the answers like the world owed me a reason. Now I'm letting go and finding that it's wonderful. Seasons come and pass, but I don't mind the change, and there's a kind of peace in knowing less and feeling more. I'm collecting little moments like the treasures build, something real worth holding on to for sure. I don't need a reason to feel this. Everything I want is already in this place. This is where I belong, in the quiet of the feeling when the rhythm carries on. Every breath is like a melody I'm finally learning. This is where I belong, with my feet upon the ground and my whole heart in my hands. I'm done with second guessing, I'm just here, and I'm not leaving. Maybe I was looking way too far to find it when the answer was as close as my own heartbeat. I was counting all the things I thought were missing, never saw the ones that made my life complete. I'm not running anymore, I'm standing still, not because I'm stuck, because I finally feel like the ground beneath me is exactly where I'm meant to be. Yeah, that's enough for me. This is where I belong, in the quiet of the feeling when the rhythm carries on. Every breath is like a melody I'm finally learning. This is where I belong, with my feet upon the ground and my whole heart in my hands. I'm done with second guessing, I'm just here and I'm not leaving. Yeah, this is where I belong. I can feel it in the melody that carries on. This is where I belong. Oh, I finally understand, I'm exactly where for a reason to believe again. Had my walls built high enough to keep the whole world out. Then you walked in with a conversation I didn't expect. And suddenly my careful silence turned itself around. You didn't try to fix me or to fill the empty spaces. You just sat beside me like you knew the view was fine. And somewhere in between the laughter and the ordinary, I realized I've been waiting for exactly your design. Funny how the things we need the most show up when we're done pretending we don't. You were closer than I think I ever knew, like a favorite song that played before I found the tune. Every conversation landed somewhere warm and true. You were closer than I think I ever knew. And now I'm standing in the middle of a feeling I can't lose. Everything makes sense when I'm next to you. We don't need the big romantic gestures or the fireworks. Just your voice across the table is enough to make me stay. You remember little details that I barely even mention, and you hold them like they matter in the sweetest kind of way. There's a rhythm to the way we move around each other, like a dance we never practiced, but we somehow always land. And I don't know what I did to deserve this kind of comfort, but I'm grateful for the way you always seem to understand. Funny how the things we need the most show up when we're done pretending we don't. You're closer than I think I ever knew, like a favorite song that played before I found the tune. Every conversation landed somewhere warm and true. You were closer than I think I ever knew. And now I'm standing in the middle of a feeling I can't lose. Everything makes sense when I'm next to you. Used to think that love was something loud and overwhelming, something you had to chase until you couldn't breathe. But here we are in all this gentle understanding, and it's more than I imagined it could be. You're the calm inside the chaos and the laughter after silence. You're the hand I reach for when the evening settles in. I never thought that easy could feel so full of meaning, but with you I keep discovering it again and again. You were closer than I think I ever knew, like a favorite song before I found the tune. Every conversation landed somewhere warm and true. You were closer than I think I ever knew. And now I'm standing in the middle of a feeling I can't lose. Everything makes sense when I'm next to you. Oh, you were always closer, closer than I think I ever knew. Yeah, everything makes sense. Everything falls into place with you. Closer than I ever knew. I heard you moved to a different town, closer to the sea you love. I picture waves around your feet, the sky wide open up above. It didn't hurt the way I thought. No sharp edges in my chest, just something soft and bittersweet, like a memory laid to rest. There was a time I would have called just to hear your voice again, but love can change its shape with grace. It doesn't have to stray.